Okay, so I like to always prep my little station here for all the things that I'm going to need while cleaning my brushes. And I gave you guys a few different options that I have used before or that I use now. And I did want to mention this. It is called Parion Spirit, I think is what it's called, Professional Makeup Brush Cleaner. And this does a really, really good job, but I just can't stand the smell. It is a very strong scent of like an orange peel or something like that. It is a very strong scent, but it does clean your brushes very effectively, and I do like it. It's just the scent I can't really handle. So if you don't mind that, this is very good and it works very fast. And you can also use Johnson's Baby Head to Toe Wash. I really enjoy this because I just love the smell. I always have. I use it on my son, so it's there when I want to use it. And I also like to use my Purity Face Wash. It's very, very good. It works really good actually. It just melts away the makeup out of the brush. And it seems to actually leave the brushes pretty soft. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to use the more affordable one and use the Johnson's Baby Head to Toe Wash. And these are just really good, so I just wanted to mention it. And if you just don't mind the smell, that one's wonderful. I think this one runs about, I think it was like $10, $12. And this one is a tad bit pricey. I can't remember how much I paid for this. I think it's like $25 just for a small bottle, but it works really good and it lasts a long, long time. If I'm wrong on the price, I'll go ahead and add the prices in at the bottom and the links of where you can buy it. And you can get this one at Ulta, and I'm not sure if Sephora has it. You can buy this anywhere, Walmart, drugstore, and this one I got at beautylish.com. So as you can see, I have all the cleaning supplies that I would need to use. I would obviously only need one. So I just have the soap here and the paper towel, which is super important, and a washcloth to set the brushes down and let them dry, and obviously my brushes are here in the back. So let's just hop right into the video and I will teach you how I clean my makeup brushes. Okay, so we have what we need ready to start. I have my baby wash and my brushes, of course. I'm not going to use every single brush and show you how I clean every single brush in here, but I'll just show you the basics because it's all the same. Honestly, it's just going to take too long to clean this many brushes. So the first thing you want to do is just get your water running. It doesn't have to run too hard, just enough that you can keep going back and forth in between the water. I just like to make sure my brushes are very, very clean and make sure they're nice and sanitized. So I'm just going to do this e.l.f. brush first. And I like to start by adding a squirt of the baby soap in my hand, and then I wet the brush, get it nice and damp. And then I'd like to just swirl it in there and make sure I coat the brush really good. And that's when I start using the palm of my hand and just swirling it in. And I like to go on my fingertips because of the ridges here. It kind of catches the brush and it just makes it a lot easier to clean the brush. So I just keep basically repeating that process between my palm and my fingertips. And then I rinse as I go. This brush isn't very dirty because I haven't used it much. But I just use my palm of my hand and just make sure that I really get that soap out of there, because you do not want leftover soap. And also you don't want leftover water when you go and dry them. You kind of want to push the water out in a paper towel. But leaving water in them can actually create mildew in your brush, and it's just not going to smell so good. So you want to make sure they're nice and dry and in an open area where they can dry very well. Sometimes I like adding a fan into the bathroom because it actually dries the brush a lot faster instead of waiting an entire night. So if I'm in a rush, that's what I'll do. I'll just put it directly on my brushes. And I like to just push the water out. Don't do it too hard. Some people say don't do this to the brush and squeeze it, but I haven't had any problems with it, just barely squeezing the water out. I'm very gentle with my brushes. So I like to do that. This brush I'm not going to double clean it because it's a very clean brush. I haven't barely used it, like I said. And get your paper towel and just fold it over a few times so that you have a decent amount of thickness, and just push and try to push out the excess water. And like I said, I like to kind of squeeze gently and get the excess water out as well. It just seems to help it, you know, not have as much water trapped in there. So that's what I like to do. And once you're done with that, you can go ahead and lay it out on a towel or a washcloth. These are brand new, so I'm going to just use these. It's the ones I have ready, and it will work just fine. So anywhere you want to lay it out, I'm going to just put it on here because it's easier for you guys to see. And just again, make sure that you have all the water out as much as possible. And then you can twirl it a few times in the napkin. And it should be good to go. And just lay it on there and just let it dry. So I'll show you how I do a few more, and I think that's about it. So it's nice and easy. It's not hard to do. You just always want to make sure that you really keep your brushes clean at least once a week. I like to clean mine twice a week, and my gel eyeliner brush I clean literally every single day. I recommend if you use gel eyeliner, like I use a fine tip brush, I like to clean mine after every use. I left this one dirty for you guys because I just used it, and I wanted to show you how I cleaned it. And normally I don't use the baby soap because I have my face wash out like I told you, because I just do that before my makeup. And I just like to add a little squirt of that. You don't need much, like literally a tiny, tiny dot for such a small brush like that. And just literally twirl it in there. And you can see just the makeup just melt away. And just keep repeating that until it's clean. And then just wash your hand off, get all the nasty stuff out of there. And if you see it's not clean enough, you can do it again, but it looks like it's pretty clean. So just wash it off really good. And with a brush like this, you really don't have to worry about it drying too much. Just simply wipe it on a towel and it's good to go. So you don't really have to let something like that dry. Or always make sure you clean your little brush because it just makes it easier and you don't have to worry about it chunking up on there and just being gross. And because this one's a little dirty, I'm just going to show you with my Purity face wash because it's just a lot easier for me. And I just feel like it cleans a little bit better than the baby soap. And I just think that this works a lot better when you're dealing with such dark colors like this on your brush, especially a white tip brush. It just makes it a little bit harder to clean. So I already added a little bit in my palm, get it a little bit wet, get my brush wet, and just use my hand to clean it. It's simple as that. And you might have to repeat the steps a few times when you have a brush like this that is so dirty. I used my Morphe palette and it made my brush just very dirty because the shadows are so pigmented. Some of these shadows out there, they're just so bright, which is wonderful, but it's a pain in the butt when you go to clean your brushes. So yeah, it's as simple as that. Just keep cleaning it until you can clean it as much as you can. If it's left over with a little bit of staining, there's nothing you can do about it. You did the best you could. So just make sure it's nice and clean. I believe that I also seen that somebody cleaned their brushes with dish soap, the antibacterial dish soap, and they used a little bit of olive oil. You could try that too if you have that lying around. Whatever works for you or whatever you prefer. This is just what I do. So again, just continuing to clean that brush. You've seen how dirty it was and how clean it's actually getting. It's hardly any paint left on that right now. So just keep cleaning it. Cleaning brushes is such a long process, but it's so worth it in the end because you know that they're nice and sanitized and you don't have to worry about other shadows transferring to your lid when you're going in with a different shadow. It's just always nice to keep them clean. I think this is about as clean as it's going to get. It's looking pretty good. So we're just going to wash it off. And there's the brush. And there's the brush. It's nice and clean. So I'm going to make sure all the soap's out of there. And just a little tip, when washing your brush, you don't want to let the water go in this way to the brush because it will seep into the metal part where it meets the metal and the wood, and it will get in there and it'll loosen up your glue, and you do not want that because soon you will have makeup brushes that are ruined. So I like to keep this area out of the water, and I just wipe it off with a makeup wipe or a baby wipe. So again, we just need to make sure that all that water is out and that the brush is running clear and we don't see any makeup in there, which it is, and it looks like it's pretty clean. There's a little bit left over the pink, but I think I just need to maybe wash it a few more times and just kind of not use this one for maybe my brighter shadows. I didn't know that it was going to stain it, but it did. So there's nothing really I can do about that, but it is clean, and I just want to do a light squeeze. Nothing too harsh, just very, very lightly. And then I am going to set it out to dry. So yeah, that's basically it. It's pretty easy and pretty simple, but I did want to share it with you just in case you are new into the makeup world and you've yet to learn how to properly clean your brush, or you just really struggle with it. It just makes it a lot easier when you use those steps that I shared with you. I hope you enjoyed this video. So until next time, don't forget to hit that button down below and subscribe. Follow me everywhere. I'd love to be friends and get to know each other on a more personal level and stay in touch. So I love you guys so, so much, and I will see you later. Bye.